So, today we're going to be talking about a story of a woman who has four young daughters and they live in this apartment complex. And she actually has to go and defend her daughters because this unknown person to her tried to break into her house. Unfortunately for her, she found out that he was a minor. We are going to get into the story, but before we do so, do not forget to leave a comment down below. Also, like and subscribe and hit the thanks button as well. Now, let's get into this video. Texas woman shoots dead 14-year-old boy after, quote unquote, he tried to break in through her window while her four younger daughters were home. Aaliyah Wallace saw Devin Baker attempting to open her 8-year-old girl's bedroom window in Fort Worth in December 14th and fatally shot him. Police have not filed any charges against her over the shooting, but the case had been sent to the grand jury. Okay. She's defending herself. You're trying to break into her window. We're going to get into some other stuff as well. But you try to break into her window and then she shoots you. That was worth your life. That's what you're telling me. That was worth your life. Whatever you were going to do up in this house. Wallace said that she got the gun to protect her family after suffering multiple break-ins, which began just a few weeks ago. She said, I was cleaning my living room, sweeping my floor, and I heard my window start going back up, she said. So I went and stood in the hallway, and I could see him standing at the window, lifting it up. I just shot. Baker died at the scene of multiple gunshot wounds, and Wallace added, it's bothering me that he was a kid. So she didn't know. All she's seen was there's a silhouette of an individual trying to break into this room of my daughter, my 8-year-old daughter, and I got to defend my family. Okay. Who else is going to do it for me? Because she has called the cops multiple times and nothing really has been done. So that's one of the things. I did see a comment. And someone was like, oh, well, how would she feel if maybe the 8-year-old was telling this 14-year-old, to hang out and da-da-da. And I'm thinking an 8-year-old, yourself would be in 3rd grade. A 14-year-old would be in 9th grade. In what world are you two really interacting with each other in that way, in that level? And the mother didn't even know who this boy was. So... you know what I mean? I was like, that just seems stupid to me. But you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. That's really what it comes out to. But let's continue. The case is going to a grand jury, and she wants people to understand that she was just protecting her family. I have 4 daughters. It's just me and my 4 daughters that stay here. I was protecting my daughters, she said. She also said, I did not know he was 14 when he was on the other side of the window. All I knew was that someone could come in and hurt me or my kids. That's it. Doesn't matter. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what your age is. I don't care what your gender is. I don't care. You're coming into my house. You are breaking into my house. And you think I'm going to have sympathy for you? Wallace said that this was one of 2 attempted break-ins that night. And it happened shortly after police left her duplex after responding to her first 911 call. So this is not the first time this has happened. She said, I called them at 1:22 a.m. She talked for about 20 minutes. They did a report, took pictures of everything, and then they left. So because she had the firearm that she was using to protect herself and her family, she's now being evicted from this duplex area. Okay. Why? Or housing area. Why? Because the landlord said, you can't have that here. So now he's trying to evict her. The apartments called and told me, this is what she said, I was not supposed to have a gun at all, even though I kept calling them and telling them somebody was breaking in. They told me I could not have a gun and I have 30 days to vacate. So your property, landlord, Mr. Landlord, is constantly getting broken into. It's constant violence. That's what it appears to be. And you're just like, well, you ain't supposed to have a gun anyways. That's on you. Wow. I feel like I'm back to square one. I was there for 6 years and now I do not know what to do. From my understanding, they actually, she has a GoFundMe up and I believe she has raised $50,000 so far. But family members of Baker revealed that he was an 8th grade student at Rosemont Middle School. He lived with his family on the same apartment complex as Wallace, so he lived in the area. but you knew this wasn't your house. Why wouldn't you go through the front door? You don't have a key. So that's what's going on. So I remember reading something. I thought it was two different stories. I'm just going to read you the headline because the article pretty much, regurgitates the information. But it says family wants answers after 14-year-old son is killed by Fort Worth woman who reported prowler. So the family was like, oh, he was such a sweet boy. He was so nice. He wanted to become an artist. He wanted to do this. He got his physical in school. And he was a Ray Ray and Pookie because he's breaking into people's houses. It's hard for me to have sympathy when you are... Who's to say you didn't have a gun or you weren't going to have a weapon or whatever the case may be? Whatever you were planning on doing. Maybe you're going to go in there and grab a kitchen knife. Whatever you were going to do. Why is it that you think it's okay to victimize other people? So then by the time that someone's like, I'm going to stand up for myself. Now it's like, oh, but my baby. Oh, y'all shouldn't have been that brutal to him. You're breaking into someone's crib. And the parents understand that he broke into someone's crib. He knew he didn't live there. You're in 8th grade, they said. Okay, so his birthday must have been later. But you're in 8th grade. And you are breaking into this woman's duplex apartment housing or whatever it is. You're breaking into her residence. And she's supposed to give you mercy after you broke into her place. It seems odd to me. It never made any sense. Just like when you see these different scenarios of these people, they commit these crimes or whatever, and then the family, oh, but he was so nice. He was a sweetheart. He would sell popsicles, in the middle of the street for people, and he would help. And yeah, but he committed a crime. He murdered somebody. Yeah, but my baby. No, That's not how that works. We don't get to say my baby, oh, I love, blah, 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 blah. In conjunction with, he's a criminal. But this is my baby. He doesn't deserve this. But you just say he's a criminal. What was she supposed to do? Some people say, oh, well, you should have just waited till he got enough. Okay. So let's say this wasn't a 14-year-old. Let's say this was a 30-year-old man who was trying to break in. Okay, and let's say he goes and shoots the mom in the foot because he has a gun or weapon, whatever. He takes advantage of the little girl and he takes advantage of all four. And then he goes and robs and goes. That would have been okay by some people's logic. Oh, well, he should have just made sure that he came all the way in the house. That doesn't make any sense. Because who's to say that he doesn't hold the little girl as a hostage or whatever the case may be. Maybe the mother went to go and use the bathroom at this time. Maybe she wasn't right then and there at that particular spot. And then now he's standing over your daughter. That's what you would rather have so we could allow somebody to just come in the house. I don't give a flying rip who you are, what age you are, what gender you are. I don't care. You're breaking into someone else's crib. Your house is supposed to be a place where you feel safe. It's supposed to be a place where you feel comfortable, relax, like, oh God, this is my safe spot. And it's not, because people are breaking into your crib, so I find it very hard, very difficult, if not impossible, to have too much sympathy for someone who, it's not like you're speeding, you're going 10 miles over the speed limit or something. You're breaking into someone's crib. You know what I mean? Even in situations where if someone's jugging, okay, you're trying, someone will go to a bank and try to, take money out or whatever. And they take money out and then the person follows them. In a situation where it's a jugging situation. So if the person, gets a taser or, harms you, the perpetrator, am I supposed to then have sympathy? Because it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. You're committing a crime. You are perpetrating violence onto somebody else. And people are just supposed to be like, well, but this person's nice. Nah, man, so that's how I feel about it. Let me know what you all think about this story down below.